Imane Khelif, the rise of Algeria's boxing sensation. It was early morning in the heart of Algiers, and the city was slowly awakening. The faint sound of the call to prayer echoed through the narrow streets, reverberating off the old stone buildings. But inside a small gym tucked away in a quiet neighborhood, a different rhythm filled the air, the sharp sound of fists meeting leather, the rhythmic thud of footsteps on the canvas floor, and the occasional grunt of a fighter pushing through exhaustion. Among the handful of boxers training in the gym was Imane Khelif, a 25-year-old boxer who had quickly become one of Algeria's most promising athletic talents. Her story wasn't one of luxury or fame, it was built on sacrifice, sweat, and a relentless drive to prove herself in a sport that was still gaining traction in her country. Imane's journey began long before she stepped into the ring. She was born into a modest family in Algiers. Her father, a former football player, instilled a love for sports in her from an early age. But her true passion didn't lie in football or basketball like many of her friends. Instead, she was drawn to boxing, a sport that wasn't exactly seen as feminine in her community. At first, her parents didn't understand. They encouraged her to take part in more traditional sports for women, but Imane was persistent. At 16, she signed up for a local boxing club, determined to learn the craft. The beginning was tough. Her coaches were skeptical of her commitment, and the other boys in her class doubted her abilities. But Imane's resolve was unshakable. Her first year in the gym was a blur of bruises, sweat, and moments when she thought about quitting. The early mornings, the long hours of training, and the doubts from others were overwhelming, but she loved the feeling of stepping into the ring. The silence that fell over the gym as she threw her first punches, the adrenaline, the thrill of learning new techniques, it all became an addiction. Over the next few years, she refined her skills. Imane won her first regional championship at 19, and then another, and another. Each victory pushed her closer to her dream, but it wasn't until her first international competition at 22 that things truly started to change. The tournament was held in Cairo, Egypt, where top boxers from across Africa competed. Imane's competition was fierce, but she had prepared for this moment her entire life. In her opening match, she faced a boxer from Nigeria, a formidable opponent known for her powerful punches and quick footwork. It was a battle of wills, each fighter refusing to back down. In the final round, Imane was knocked down twice. She could feel her legs shaking, her heart pounding in her chest, but she didn't give up. With every ounce of energy she had left, she climbed to her feet and pushed forward. In the final seconds of the round, Imane landed a perfectly timed hook that knocked her opponent off balance, securing her victory. The crowd erupted in applause as she raised her arms in triumph, but Imane wasn't focused on the celebration, she was focused on the next step. "I knew then that I had what it takes," she would later reflect. "But I also knew that winning one match wasn't enough. I had to keep going." Imane's victory in Cairo marked the beginning of her rise as a boxing sensation. With the media starting to pay attention, she became a beacon of hope for young women in Algeria who had long been discouraged from pursuing sports. Her story of perseverance resonated deeply, and she began receiving messages from young girls who saw her as an inspiration. Imane didn't just want to be a champion in the ring, she wanted to change the culture around women's sports in Algeria. Despite the growing attention, life outside the ring wasn't easy. Algeria's sports infrastructure was still underdeveloped, and boxing, in particular, was often overlooked by the government. Imane struggled to find sponsorships, and many of the gyms in the country lacked the proper facilities and equipment for elite-level training. But these challenges only fueled her determination. She partnered with local organizations to help promote the sport in schools, advocating for more opportunities for girls to take up boxing. She visited community centers and shared her story, telling young girls that they too could be strong, resilient, and fierce, no matter what anyone told them. "I want to show them that they can be whatever they want to be," Imane said during one of her motivational speeches. "If you work hard enough, nothing is impossible." Her message didn't go unnoticed. Soon after her success in Cairo, she was invited to compete in the World Boxing Championships in 2024. This was the big stage, an opportunity to showcase her skills against the best fighters in the world. The pressure was immense, but Imane's experience in local competitions had prepared her for this moment. The night of the championship, the arena was packed with spectators, the air thick with excitement. Imane's opponent was a world-renowned fighter from Tunisia, known for her lightning-fast punches and iron defense. Imane stepped into the ring, adrenaline coursing through her veins. The first round was a blur, both fighters exchanged powerful blows, but Imane's precision and strategy set her apart. By the final round, she had outboxed her opponent, landing a combination of quick jabs and uppercuts that secured her the title. As the referee raised her hand in victory, Imane looked out over the crowd. She had done it. She had proven to herself and the world that she belonged among the best. More importantly, she had made history for Algerian women in sports. Back in Algiers, her victory was celebrated as a national achievement. People filled the streets to cheer her on, and her name became synonymous with perseverance and hope. But for Imane, the real victory was in the journey itself. The hard work, the sacrifices, and the unshakable belief that anything is possible. Looking back, she knew that her success wasn't just about winning gold medals, it was about inspiring the next generation of fighters, both men and women, to chase their dreams and break through the barriers of doubt and adversity. As she sat in the quiet of her gym one afternoon, reflecting on her journey, Imane smiled to herself. She had risen from the dust of her humble beginnings to stand on the world stage, and she wasn't done yet. "There's always more to achieve," she said, tightening her gloves. The journey never stops. This story captures the essence of determination, the struggle for recognition in sports, and the power of inspiring change, all while focusing on a rising star who was just beginning to make her mark.